a raven flying for Dragonstone now. Daenerys is our only chance.
No. There's another.
Killed him. He turned them all.
You don't understand.
The Lord brought you back, and he brought me back. No one else, just us. Did he do it to watch us freeze to death?
Careful, Beric. You lost your priest. This is your last life.
I've been waiting for the end for a long time. Maybe the Lord brought me here to find it.
The Lord I've ever met's been a cunt. Don't see why the Lord of Light should be any different.
Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to be talking about the Night King, whether he could be related to any of the other characters and what I believe his endgame will be. Firstly, I'm going to address the ever popular theory that Bran is or will become the Night King. This theory does have its plausibility. In Season 8 we discover that Bran has the power to change the past. Perhaps in Season 8, when all hope seems to be lost, Bran decides to go back in time to try and stop the White Walkers. This theory suggests that Bran will get lost in the past and grow up to be the human that will become the Night King. We know that the two are connected. The Night King was able to touch Bran in one of his visions, which suggests that he is a green seer just like him. It would also explain how he seems to know where Jon Snow will be, but that could just be the convenience of plot. Another character who seems to be connected to the Night King is Jon Snow, with many people believing that Jon will be the one to kill him and defeat the army of the dead, once and for all. Wouldn't surprise anyone to have Jon Snow sacrifice himself to save the world, but there could be more to the story than his death. Perhaps the Night King is immortal, and the only way to stop the army of the dead is to become the Night King. Perhaps Jon, or even Bran, will fulfill this prophecy, sacrificing themselves to become the Night King and spending the rest of their days beyond the wall, alone, away from everyone else. Another theory that has great plausibility is that in the last long night, which took place thousands of years ago, the Night King and Azor Ahai made a truce. The Night King then created the Wall and took the White Walkers north to live peacefully for eternity, unless the truce was broken. The wall was so thick and high, it seems unlikely that one man was able to build it. It would make more sense for the Night King, a god of ice if you will, to create it. We've also seen evidence of the Night King being able to make a truce with humans. For example, his deal with Craster, where if he supplies him with baby boys, he will leave the rest of his family alone. So, what kind of thing could have broken the truce of the Night King? I believe it could be Daenerys and her dragons. Ice and fire has been a recurrent theme throughout the series, and perhaps the birth of the dragons has led to the Night King to break the truce and resurrect the army of the dead and march south on the wall to stop Daenerys and her dragons from taking over the world. This is something I can definitely see happening because it doesn't quite make sense that the main villain of Game of Thrones is the Night King. I mean, he's pretty important to it, but I feel like the way the story's gotten so far, George R.R. Martin wouldn't create all of these stories and plots and characters just to have one endgame massive war. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I think the ending, which he has described as bittersweet, is going to be a lot more shocking and have more of a twist to it than that. And I think what will happen in Season 8 is that there will be a proper war of ice and fire between Daenerys and the Night King. But whoever's side is good or evil, I don't know. Another theory suggests that the Night King is somehow connected to the Starks, whether he created them, was a Stark, made a truce with them, I don't know. But it's an interesting theory because if what Beric Dondarrion says in Season 8 is true, and that the Night King, if you kill him, you'll kill all of the White Walkers, it makes the decision to go after him even harder for Jon, because not only will he be sacrificing himself, he'll also be sacrificing his entire family, as if the Night King created all of the Starks, then that means that the Starks will all die, which is could link in with a bittersweet ending of Game of Thrones, but still I'm not sure. It's all speculation. I do, however, think that he is going to die in season 8, or there will be a truce one way or another, but I think there's going to be some twist with it, whether it will end up killing all the Starks, or Jon Snow will have to become the new Night King, or even that there is going to be no Great War. It will just be another truce, another kind of agreement between the living and the dead to rebuild another wall and maybe even break the will. It all depends on how the season is going to go. I'm actually going to be doing another video shortly on the season 8 supposed leaks and how true they are. I don't personally agree with them, but there might be some elements of truth in them, so I'll be evaluating them later on. So keep an eye out for that video, and thanks for watching this one. Be sure to subscribe, leave a like and a comment on this video. Speak to you soon.